Doctor, we see the colonial authority leaving some bit of democracy in Uganda.
Yes.
We had the election that brought in your late senior leader,
Yes.
Ben Chiwanuka.
Yes.
Then we saw the 1962 election where KY had a coalition with the UPC and things like that. A parliament, one would call somehow stable at that stage. What went wrong after to see the drama that ensued? That was actually around 1966.
Yes.
Only 4 years, 3 years after the white man had gone.
I say.
What went wrong?
You go back to the beginning. The alliance of UPC and KY.
Okay.
I think it was made in mutual self-deception. That's where I look at it. The KYs did not judge properly.
The coalition they were going into?
Yes, and they assumed too much on their side that they would be in charge, right? Because for them the enemy was DP.
Okay.
The enemy was at that time the leadership of KY.
So they could work with anyone
except
to go for DP.
And that was a deception. It was not true. They realized in 3 years, even before the 3 years were finished, they realized that it was a miscalculation.
Okay.
And also on the side of Obote, this team, there was also a miscalculation. They did not think that KY would mean anything. It was
the UPC side underestimated KY.
Exactly. See, the UPC had failed to win the hearts of people in Uganda in the 1961 elections.
Okay.
They were defeated very badly here. And they realized it was not easy for them to really win over Uganda under any circumstances. It was just the DP there, but you had also other smaller parties. But they realized that now that the leadership in Uganda, again the ministers at Mengo, if we win them over, we persuade them, even if by deception, if we get them, once we do that, it's finished. And we shall get all the leadership, the MPs from Buganda as the arrangement. You know, Buganda did not have direct elections in 63.
Wow.
In 63, no. You know that the Lancaster Conference agreed on indirect elections for Buganda only.
Indirect elections?
Yes.
How were they conducted?
Buganda government, Mengo Lukiko.
It appointed people?
Yes. You don't know this?
That I didn't know.
Yes, that was a game to ensure that all the seats from Buganda would be controlled
by the Mengo establishment.
Right? And would all be delivered to Obote.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
and so it was.
Okay.
That is why people like Ssemogerere, people do not start, people like Ben Chiwanuka, name them.
At that time,
there was no way. So they all delivered, and as it therefore that made a certainty of UPC-KY alliance victory. And so happened. But so, then within 2 years, each party realized that it was an unfortunate thing to have embarked on that.
None of the two saw a chance of getting their interests
as they had expected.
Okay.
Right? And I think Buganda realized it, And what I now can look back and see, then Obote started seeing that the hatred, as it were, against the DP was now being was turning around into some kind of accommodation
between the hatred that Mengo had against DP again had become a friendship.
It was becoming gradually
because DP was probably better accommodated to them
by the people, by the ordinary people. It was not the
establishment
at the top,
yes,
but you know, at the level of Rukomwas and
it was better to deal with DP. Okay,
that DP had been misrepresented to them, so many started coming to the DP, and some people began, even in parliament, some started even to cross from from the government side to the opposition side. All right, so then Obote saw that his days are numbered as leader of the government. And also, I think, not to think, I'm sure, in their negotiations, the UPC or Obote had promised many things which did not. Which did not intend to deliver. All right,
Doctor, we come to see different governments that came in and out from 1966. Then, when Obote took over now as president, we get to see him. 1971 overthrown. We see Amin coming in. 1979 he's overthrown. We see Binaisa there, Mwanga, Lulei. Then up to 1986. How would you describe that time?
That's a very good question. Probably it requires more time when we can discuss it. But, briefly.
Yes.
As I told you before, my judgment of my countrymen, people of Uganda, wherever they are, in Buganda, in Karamoja, in Ankole, in Acholi, in Lango, people are basically very good people. Very, very good people. But unfortunately, they have been misruled.
Okay.
And
are you saying since 1962 up to now?
Yes.
Okay.
We have been misruled. You and I, and everybody else. Priests, bishops, sheikhs. Yes.
Why do you say that, Doctor?
I'll tell you. I think we have not put, we have constitutional and structural flaws, gaps. In our setup. We have just got this example, for instance, of the Lancaster Conference accommodation of indirect elections for Uganda. The cost has been very painful for Uganda.
Okay.
We paid dearly for it, of an alliance made in mutual deception, ending up with Kabaka having to flee for his life.
You said we have been misruled, and you emphasized that since 1962 up to now.
Yes.
Don't you have any reservations for the time since 1986 up
The
to
structural faults are there. Even now, I don't like the setup. And it's not only myself. More people are now realizing it. We have got the military. It is under the control of one person in the country. You've just now seen what has happened.
How? What has happened?
The commander of the land forces made an announcement which could even open the way for a war between Uganda and Kenya. and the head of the country, the executive, because of the executive president, who even is the head of the military, all right, who gives orders and they are not challenged. That head of government and head of the military has decided, instead of punishing or ordered an investigation into the matter, has decided to promote the gentleman, right? And say things are now okay.
Doctor.
Yeah. So those things continue and they are painful. And you have seen what the military have done, are doing now in the elections. You've seen the fate of so many innocent people who have been killed or who have been imprisoned without trial, and some have been. We don't know where they are. You see now the elections are conducted. Since independence, we have not had a single free and fair general election in this country.
So that's how you conclude we have been misruled for 60 years.